Hello and welcome to Wild Logic. So, we are going to be doing a tarot reading which focuses on alignment and creating this journey through life where the unseen becomes seen. And this is where diving for light comes in. It's about going deep to understand the lightness, the beauty of what this planet is, going into those shadowy realms because you're the kind of person that understands that unearthing those dark and tangled shadowy areas is where the light is hidden. And because you carry so much light already, you are exactly the kind of person that's come here at this time to bring that vibrational light into these areas. It's a part of why we are gathered here on this planet. So first and foremost, I would like to share just a few notes that I took before this reading. It's really important that you focus on rest right now because you are someone who dives deeply and you are going to need to tend to the delicate longings of your soul. You're going to be getting a lot of messages, and maybe you're someone who is used to receiving, synchronicities and messages, and maybe you're not. But either way, what I'm getting is there's another dimension of that opening up for you, and it's going to require a restful presence, a rested presence, so that you can start to shift, right? Because when we shift and open up, we're learning to alchemize in a new way. And so you're going to need your rest to do that. Tend to the delicate longings of your soul. Trust your soul's longings. It might be that you're someone who's already been a very kind and loving presence in the world, but there are aspects that you have kept even in the shadows, the depths of yourself because you weren't ready. And what I'm getting is it's time. It's time for you to dive in, and that dreams are going to be one of these important aspects of this process. Dreams are ways for information to come in these complex forms, in these ways that we can get information about what's in the depths or, about the mysteries. So make space for nighttime and daytime transmissions from these deeper perspectives. You could call them higher perspectives, higher self. But the truth is like we are a soul having a human experience. So it's all there. It's just making that space to take in that next level of information. So here we have the Magician, and this is talking about how these depths that you're going to, it is going to help you alchemize. You're taking your alchemization to the next level here. I like how her eyes are peeking out. So you can see this ocean goddess, ocean person of the depths, peeking out over this magician. And it's because, other people might not perceive how you're working because a lot of people, there's this like shallowness, but you're able to transmute it. You're able to bring it together in this form, right? So we have Temperance and the Magician. Both are about transforming. Temperance is about balance, the yin and the yang. It's a perfect symbol of this yin yang energy coming together into this union. It's a unification of opposites, of these different emotions in this more complex form. And it's almost like I see this angel cat, which is, you're an earth angel. You're like mixing these two glasses back and forth to aerate it, to give it the richness, to help understand it, to bring it into the light, to add that air, to lighten it up, to give it that texture, right? Because when it's hidden in the depths, in the like bottled up, it can't breathe. And so this is actually really pretty cool, this idea of unbottling and then aerating what's down there, giving it a space to breathe, like seeing its richness, unpacking it. And here in the realm of story, we have the Hermit. And this is this idea of being that light for others. You have really learned how to go into the depths and retrieve information of the self. And that has made you a master of the Magician and the Temperance of the mind and emotions, the Magician on earth. And now you are a way shower in the path of the Hermit. And there's a lot of energy coming in here, chariot energy, that's really going to help you accelerate on your path right now. That's going to help you work with the universe and the people around you. And you're going to know that cup is always there. The Ace of Cups is in any situation. It's all about using your intuition to, be able to see what is there, to make the next step, to plan the next step. Because you have this mastery of emotions, because you've gone into the depths over and over, and now you're here to take it to this next level, to dig deeper into the cultural unconscious that you carry, and then unlock some of this for the collective. It's just like, even as I'm doing this reading, some things that some teachers have told me are coming through and making sense now. I remember the burdens that I have carried, because I just, sometimes when you walk this path, you see things, you see more than others see, you feel more than others feel. And it's not a curse. It's your gift. And it's back to the depths. The people that have lived lives with great emotional pain and suffering, particularly right out of the gate, but it doesn't have to be that way. But I think people that have been transmuting it since a very early age, that had to craft their own way through, because they weren't given a secure attachment. So when you're not given that security, you're not attached to all of those things that come into that security. So people that have secure attachments are potentially going to be more attached to the worldliness, whereas folks that don't have secure attachments are not attached to the worldliness. Is, a possibility. It's something that I've been seeing. And it is what I think is the case, is the people that have had to struggle to create their own sense of safety within are able to see and walk down this path of self with a special kind of light. And what I think is really important right now is that people that are in those situations start to fall in love with their own story, because and a lot of this might show up in addiction or other types of mental health issues, or what are called mental health issues, but they could also be called awakenings. You could be called someone who is a brave enough soul to face that level of challenge and come out through it and learn about the depths of emotion and have that potential for balance and compassion. You can't become this angel of temperance if you haven't faced the shadows and brought light. So that is part of this ascension. It's not about being perfect. It's about transmuting. And this is giving you an opportunity to really understand your intuition, because the path you've had to walk is not a standard path. The path you've had to walk has had to be crafted by you and your ability to go within and seek out nourishment. We see this cartoon cat looking for the fridge in the, the middle of the night. But it's like even things like, not having all the same resources, having to, perhaps be in a world where there seems to be abundance all around, but, perhaps you don't have electricity, you don't have the same things that everyone else does, because you're able to just deal. You're able to deal with less. I remember when I first moved to the East Coast as a college student, I didn't know how to turn the heat on, so I just slept in my jacket. Because I didn't know. Like, I just was able to figure stuff out. And like, maybe it was a funny solution. But it's just this ability to survive and make do is like deep within you. And it's okay for you to lean into more comfort right now, whatever that means to you. So here we have changes. This is the Wheel of Fortune, destiny. Like, you are here not by accident. Everything you've been through is a part of this divine path. And it is giving you such a powerful inner strength. Such a powerful strength. This is the strength card. This is the card of self-mastery. This is what we've been talking about. That ability to go into the depth. And if you're able to get to the elements to create from bliss, you're able to figure, to know how to ground and to walk the path of fire, which is a fast path. That was the path that I was trained in. And I imagine that anyone that's out there listening to this message is attracted to this fast layers of transformation. Really beautiful energy. So let's add another layer here. The Weaver. And we can see here that I have this cloth. And this cloth is extremely special to me. It comes from my trip to Peru. Oh, there's a sweet little bird outside making a special sound as I say this. So I feel like the ancestors, the lineage is here with us. Some might say that it's a lineage trained in the Pleiades. And this particular cloth is very high energy. Like, when I showed it to some of my other teachers, they're like, whoa, that's a very energetic cloth. Because there's usually more earth tones. And this is why this cloth is being used on the YouTube platform. That was a big part of my calling, was to take this energy to digital platforms. And this is not my first channel. But the channel that I had done before under my name, I didn't want to grow it attached to my identity. At least that's not how it starts. We'll see, I'll take the messages as they come. But anyways, weavings. This is like, weavings are extremely magical. And it's about how we weave the story of our lives. This is when the shamans, the Pacos of Peru, were dealing with the civilization of its time, in Machu Picchu. It wasn't, all great. There was a lot of challenging things, and that civilization even made them kind of have to hide, and they told the story in the weavings. So there's always a way to get messages through, I guess is what I'm saying. And there's a reason I do tarot here, is because there is a magic. First of all, the tarot is amazing. And it's been, shifted, and the oracle cards, everything has been kind of transformed in this day and age. So the energies are different. But also, being too direct can almost miss the point. Strangely, it's the paradox of it. So I like I like this like poetic way, this indirect way of doing this. I've never actually seen the poet card before, which is funny. Relationships and vulnerability. And so there's almost like an ability to be more vulnerable and open when you don't take things head on. And it can create different types of relationships. A lot of what has come to me has kind of come by coincidence and accident. It's kind of like come in sideways, slipped in. Because I find I'm the kind of person, I was raised in the West. Anything new, we really take head on. It's almost like confrontational. So for things to come in sideways, it can be really helpful. As a way to integrate and become familiar with new concepts. And so this is about finding our path. And like making those decisions. Because the truth is, we can never really know the absolute truth of the universe. At the same time, more and more comes to light where we have enough information to go in a direction, right? We have to choose a direction. We can't just stay in the center and do the work we're here to do. We're meant to, work through things and make important choices. The people listening to this message, you're here to walk your own path, but it's a path built on the information from what you're learning. And, part of the game of this planet is finding a way to do that where, you can trust the people you're learning from. You can take in a lot of different information and it can support you to live in this physical world, right? So and I can see here, what I'm noticing is there's this one little hand. Like as you take your path, others are going to awaken and start to see their path. So we're all influencing one another. And this influence is incredibly powerful. And I also like how these triangles are facing one another. Air and earth meeting. Okay, let's look at some animal cards to bring it in. Oh, this is really nice. The dolphin. It's a very light energy. It's the kind of vibration that will just change someone's day. So this is like confirmation that you're the kind of person that's in such a vibe that you will give people this energy, this experience that will help them to start to unlock layers, start to cast that light into those depths. Because like when you bring this lightness, it will make people more comfortable facing their depths. Okay. Yeah. And so this is part of the story of bringing everything together. And so here we have the cobra and the lamb. We have just a bunch of folks popped out. The earthworm and the stingray. These vulnerabilities, right? Taking care. But, so these are the ones we're going to read. I'd like to find some kind of alignment. And actually, we're going to switch the earthworm. Because this forth is the progression. So there's a lot of energy coming in here. This is what I'm getting from this, all of these cards wanting to come out and support this message, is that there's a large team of like energy coming in, and it's coming from spirit. The bird tribes are here. Everyone is watching and coming in to support you on this journey. To whoever is listening to this message now, you are here, and you might, like, as you're hearing me say that, you might think like, ugh, what? I don't know. I'm not sure. That's fair. You come to your own conclusions. But let me just tell you this. You've been programmed to discount yourself. And that is part of actually the journey, is coming to understand that and then releasing it and seeing your divine nature. And you're not above anyone else, just to be clear. But you are still divine, equally divine, because all is one. So here is the rabbit. Afraid of everything, overwhelmed, frozen. When in balance, sensitive, problem solver, good listener. So this is this sensitivity that was coming out in the very beginning. Tend to the delicate longings of your soul. When out of balance, over-explains, talks fast. To bring into balance, a day of silence. So what I'm getting is like incoming information and outgoing information. Just give yourself a day to slow down and ground. You have everything within you. Let those subtle notes come out, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed. Even if it's just to go on a walk without any media and let the things recalibrate. All the information you've taken in to settle and to become one unified message. Let's look at this earthworm, which definitely one of my favorite cards. Shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner vision, right? So you might have a lot within you that you are shy to share. When in balance, earnest, intelligent, valuable. When out of balance, self-conscious and apprehensive. To bring into balance, speak up, risk embarrassment. Embarrassment. So this is really, I think there's just so many of us out there that we've been kind of taught to go with the status quo. And when it doesn't click in, what do? Right? Do we give it to ourselves? Like, there are those psychological experiments where people will agree to stuff that they know is wrong because they don't want to face the social pressure of pointing out the obvious or asking a question. So this earthworm is such a genius. It's willing to question. And this is where, this is the beginning of the cosmic egg. This earthworm is the initiation. Okay, I mean, the bear is actually the very beginning of this entire deck in this book. And that's the spiritual awakening. But then we have earthworm. And I think they're just different versions of the beginning. I honestly see the earthworm as the beginning. But I guess you have to wake up in order to speak up. So I think maybe it does make sense that the bear comes first. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, we'll get back to the cosmic egg. Let's talk about the elephant. And as I'm looking up the elephant, I'm realizing that we don't have any water cards out here, but it really started with the depths. I feel like there is already so much water that is being offered here that these other supporting characters are not bringing in additional water. So here we have the elephant. Unstoppable, auspicious, and wise. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. When in balance, one-pointed focus, generous, loving. When out of balance, misunderstands fate. To bring into balance, trust. Right. So, trust and the willingness to speak out really coming together. And I like that, it talks about how when it's out of balance, it misunderstands fate. And we have this like fire, the triangle of representing fire, pointing up right to this wheel of fortune, fate energy. Oh, and we have the earthworm like right under the energy of the intuition from this card. This is beautiful. This is really beautiful energy. Here's the butterfly. Undergoing great change and transformation. When in balance, cheerful, graceful. When out of balance, fragile, frustrated. To bring into balance, daily routine. So when we start to open to the cosmic expanse of what we're going through, our daily routines can start to slip, because when we become aware of all of these spiritual energies and the vastness of it, the day-to-day can start to fall away. But it's actually in the day-to-day. That so much of the magic is embedded, and it's part of why we're here, is for this very visceral experience. And to dig into aspects of it that bring you that inner pleasure. And part of this might require a mind shift that's actually going to really help you align your vibration, is by making decisions that give you the things that you most prefer, that you have access to, but also intentionally knowing that you brought that into your life. Stop paying attention to what everyone else is doing, what everyone else has, what everyone else is talking about. So much of it is illusion and nonsense. And if it's real, it might be a very fleeting aspect, because a lot of things are not in balance. Start to dig into the things that are sustaining, that you get pleasure from, but that are life-giving, that are restorative. And this can even be like actions of kindness, of generosity toward yourself and others. Towards if you happen to have a furry friend that you live with, or people that you live with, whatever it is, or it's, even the internet, say something kind to someone. Take the time to listen and engage. But any kind of daily routine that is based in holistic pleasure is going to be really vital. And this is all leading to the cosmic egg. Completion, harmony, the infinite within the finite. The cosmic egg is the final card in the journey of the animal spirit deck and represents the unfolding of cosmic consciousness. And this is what we're here for, is to forget and then remember, to open to the depths of emotion and compassion, which can only happen when we forget who we are and then remember. Yes, so this is today's reading. Thank you so much for your presence. If you enjoyed this message, like, subscribe, share it with a friend. Very curious where you're tuning in from, where in the world you might be, where you might be vibrationally. And until next time, be well.